You were talking about what surprised you about Bob Fosse.
Well, you know, you always think of as a Broadway director. No, let's start that again. I hadn't had too many preconceived notions about Mr. Fosse. I've been an admirer of his films, Lenny, Cabaret, and I always thought he got remarkable performances out of people. And now that I've had the opportunity to work on this film, I see why. Because he takes time and he allows his own sensitivity to come into the film. And he allows and he explores the other actors, and he tries to get as much out of them as he possibly can. He's one of the few directors I've ever worked with who will ask for one more when you don't think that anyone is capable of giving one more. But you find that you can give one more.
Tell me a little bit about the role you played, Joe Gideon. Tell me a little bit about who he is and the story.
Well, Joe Gideon is a choreographer who has been very successful. And he's a man who is driven. He loves his work, pumps most of his life into his work, doesn't think much of himself as a human being. He believes that he's only alive when he's working. I don't think that his problems or his difficulties with life are that much different from anyone else's. Although the story is about a very successful choreographer, I think he's a man like many other men who wants his cake and eat it too. I mean, he expects to pump his creativity and his soul into his work, and yet he still thinks he can survive in a family way or survive in relationships with other people. And try to do both at the same time is very difficult. It's the old and familiar story of the artist.
Do you think that there are people who entered show business because of girls and the glamour in that sense?
Are you kidding? Of course they did.
Could you say that in a sentence?
I think because the atmosphere and the environment of the arts is so free, is so open, so non-racist, so I don't mean non-sexual, but where there's a certain amount of sexual freedom, that it is an attractive place. Some people do come into the arts for those reasons alone. Unfortunately, they don't have talent or don't have the ability. They don't last very long. But I think it's a natural attraction. A lot of people think that's all that show business is.
We were talking about the struggle and the type of character that you're playing.
Well, what I really wanted to say was what's important to me as an actor and what's important to this film is that the character of Joe Gideon, although loosely based on some of the happenings in the life of Bob Fosse, is really every man who has achieved a certain amount of success in his life and the struggle to maintain that success, to be good as you think you can be every time somebody wants you to be. And it's a very, very difficult thing. And this movie is about that struggle. It's about a guy who's afraid he won't be as good as he was last time, and who always wants to be better. Like any artist, he wants every painting, every piece of music, every piece of acting to be better than the one before that. So while I'm working on a guy who has those problems, I am also the guy, Roy Scheider, who has those problems, who has to face those things in playing this part. I'm playing a part where I'm doing things that I've never done before, and I want to do them not only believably, but well and better than anything I've ever done before. So it's a strange kind of interstruggle going on within the film.